Can't complain. How you doing, guys? Good to be here.
We're doing good, aside from all the rain here and this end of the state. But you said it's pretty good out there on the Cape.
Yeah, beautiful night on the Cape. I'm out on my deck hanging out and looking forward to having a good time with you guys.
You have to send some of that weather this way.
It's coming, I think. No, the wind's blowing the other way. It's coming. Your weather's coming my way, probably.
Yeah, I think the winds are coming this way, too. There's a wind advisory, I think, for tomorrow.
Yeah, when it's windy out here, man, it's windy. I remember we got that Storm Irene a couple weeks ago. We were out of power for a while, and people just down the street from me were like 7 days. I mean, it's been just a wacky year.
Wow.
In Massachusetts, man, I know what you guys went through on June 1st.
Yeah, we never would have expected to have a tornado here in Springfield, Mass.
Life-changing experience, man. I'm sure it changed a lot of people's life, including mine out here, man. I mean, my parents live in Wilbraham, and they had no clue, about anything like that, and I called them up, hey, get in the basement, And
But we always shrug that off, They say tornado warning, and it's like, yeah, whatever. And lo and behold, we end up getting one.
Yeah, I mean, we were watching 22 News out here on the Cape. The whole country tuned into that, and of course, I grew up in Munson, so
Munson got
really
pretty hard too.
Close to home for me, and then to go up Plumtree Road through Springfield all the way to downtown after the fact. It's like, holy cow, man, this is where I grew up, Well,
the amazing fact in that is that only 3 people died.
Oh,
and,
man.
There's people whose houses were collapsing on top of them, and they made it out. It's amazing.
I know. That is like the craziest thing. I mean, it's a miracle, But then again, it's something so crazy that you never think it's going to happen to you. But then
so
it does.
We've got it all here in New England now.
Yeah, everything's fair game now, So I decided to remodel my house. So that's what I've been doing for the last 3 months out here on the Cape, saying, hey, if I'm going to go happy with a nice house.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, on to happier things besides tornadoes. What's going on in the world of Sweet Cheater? We talked to you about just about a year ago before you guys played the headquarters in Agawam, and you guys were about to go in the studio for the new CD.
Yeah, well, as far as I know, it's all done. Almost everything. I guess they're just doing like little guitar parts and stuff like that. But all the singing's done, all the drumming's done. So it's just a matter of, I guess, fine-tuning it, mixing it, and then the record company putting what they, their touches on it. Because sometimes they'll take it back into a studio with like a fancier producer than we've been using, And actually, Mark Rahali, our bass player, has been doing everything on this project. I mean, he just took the ball and ran with it by himself. He's like, hey, I want to do this, and we all agreed, and he's done an amazing job. And he did all the audio for the videos on, I guess, the ones that you might have live tonight from the new album is all live stuff.
Yeah, the stuff sounds good, and I've seen you guys a couple times since then. I mean, the new stuff sounds excellent live.
Yeah, I'm like going, wait a minute, I don't sound that good live. I guess it does. It's funny. I guess we get better as we get older.
Better with age.
You drink less.
You guys have a title for the new album?
I think we're just going to call it Sweet Cheater 2. I mean, no one's said anything different, and we all kind of agreed, at the beginning a long time ago, and so it's never came up again, but I assume that's what it'll be.
I know a lot of bands are leery of the, putting number 2 on for the album title for the second album.
Like number 2, like crap.
But from everything I've heard so far, I mean, it's good material, and you guys will definitely not suffer from the sophomore jinx.
I hope. I tell you what, this has been like the most frustrating album. I mean, it's just crazy how it's not out yet, but we're getting there. And that's all I can pretty much say about it. I mean, I know it's wicked overdue. 2006 was eating ain't cheating, and we still haven't got one out, so it's...
Yeah, but you know what? It's taken you a shorter time than Axl Rose did to do Chinese Democracy.
Yeah.
Was that something? That was like 13 years.
Funny. They're coming around again, I heard. They're coming to Worcester or something.
Yeah, they're coming to Worcester. They're coming down to Hartford, but it's only Axl in the band. And
oh, really?
Yeah, it's just Axl, and there's no original guys whatsoever. There's kind of
some stuff on YouTube from some of the shows, and
yeah, if you look up on YouTube and punch in Guns N' Roses and anything recent, they played Rock in Rio a couple weeks ago, and Axl's got like 4 chins now, and he's forgetting lyrics to the classics, and I don't know. I mean, I was, for curiosity's sake, I was thinking about maybe checking that show out. But after seeing the YouTube stuff, nah, not so much.
I check it out at like the Orpheum or the Webster or something like that. But
yeah.
I went to see Alice Cooper up at the Calvin Theater a couple weeks ago. What a great show that was.
Yeah, we wanted to check that out. We saw him
at the Paramount on the Poison tour.
I was like,
on the Trash
tour. I was there.
The Trash tour. That was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, that was the night that about 20 girls fell over on top of us. They were so damn drunk in front of us. It was pretty funny. Mike and I played pretty much goalie for these girls so they wouldn't fall, head first on the floor.
It seemed like the whole row they were all so hammered that they just collapsed backwards right on top of us.
Great show.
Wow, watched a 4-hole. Congratulations on the cup, you guys.
They weren't bad looking, so it was all right.
I'm not a Bruins fan, but I gotta say they had quite a season. I'm wondering what's going to happen this year, though. I think I love that thing when they come out on the ice. It's like they come through the like the sparklers.
Yeah,
that thing they got. I'm like, they've gone Hollywood. Let's go.
Well, they're the defending Stanley Cup champions, and
yeah,
but it's in hockey. It's a tough sport to repeat.
Oh yeah. Detroit was the last one, right? 1995 or something like that?
I think so.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad that they won. It's been a long time coming, and it's great
for
the city of Boston.
And the last time they won it in '72, I was a diehard. I mean, that's all I thought about was the Bruins. And they traded Phil Esposito and Bobby Orr and Ken Hodge all on the same day. That was it for me.
Yeah, I haven't really followed them in a while.
Because
the Red Sox are my main thing. But I did watch a lot of the playoff games this year, and it's kind of got me back into it. But it's a long season too, and so it's kind of hard to follow all the games. I catch it when I can, but But on the subject of the Red Sox, since we drifted there, what do you think of the current situation going on there? It's just a mess.
Oh my God! It's just so stupid. I mean, Poppy wants to go to the Yankees now.
I never thought that would happen. I never thought I'd hear that.
It's like remember the ESPN commercial when Ortiz was putting on the showing Posada how to wear his cap.
Oh yeah, Wally song.
The Green Monster comes in and sees Poppy with a Yankee hat. Yeah, you know what though? If you want to go to the Yankees, go ahead. I mean, if I saw him on the street, I'd give him the biggest hug in the world. Guys like Johnny Damon, Keith Folk, all them guys. They brought us a Kurt Schilling. I mean,
there'll never be another team like that 04 team.
Man, that's something I've been waiting for my whole life. They did it. Johnny Damon, when he hit that home run in Game 7 against the Yankees.
Yep.
Nothing like it. And now look at them. But maybe it's time for a change, and they make some changes and get rid of the prima donnas, and sometimes it isn't all about the all-stars,
Well, the guys who should have stepped up and been the team leaders were setting the worst examples for the rest of the team. There's a lot of stuff coming out about things going on in that clubhouse, and apparently Francona completely lost control and couldn't control those guys anymore. I mean, you got guys like Beckett, Lester, and Mr. Waste of Money Lackey drinking beer and ordering takeout and playing video games while the rest of the team's sitting in a dugout watching a game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could be out there looking what the guy's going to do, then, you could pick something up with hitters saying, okay, something if you're starting the next couple of days, you're looking for something, some kind of an edge, scouting the other guys. Whoop, this guy's hot, But, they didn't seem to care.
They were just...
And then they were mad about the doubleheader that when the hurricane came, when Hurricane Irene, they had to play that doubleheader. I guess the field was atrocious, and they're like, well, we got to play the games. And I think that ticked off a lot of guys. And
that was actually the last time they won 2 games in a row when they played that doubleheader.
Yeah. And then you can't win 7 games in September and expect to be on a roll going into the playoffs.
Oh, they had a terrible September. Terrible.
Would have been mad if they made the playoffs, because then we would have had to sit and watch a few more games with our hearts pounding, till 2 in the morning, and then and then get our asses handed to us,
But those guys shouldn't complain. The money that they make. If they played, back-to-back games, every night of the week, who cares? They're getting paid millions of dollars.
We do, right?
Yeah. I'll trade with them.
Yeah. Yeah. You wonder what's up with Euclid. Who knows? Was he really hurt that bad, or was he just like, screw it,
Who knows? We'll see. It's definitely a shake-up in the Red Sox organization, and, new GM, new coach. We'll see what happens. Yep. I got a feeling, though,
Tony Pena take over.
Huh?
I'd like to see Tony Pena maybe be the manager.
They need somebody that's going to really keep those guys in line, unfortunately. But we'll see what happens. I got a bad feeling it's going to be, a few bridge years until they get back on track again. It'd be like watching the Red Sox of old, that they're, no matter what, they're just going to break your heart.
Right. And the thing is, they'll sell out every game, and they'll play Sweet Caroline in the 7th inning. I hate that.
I have a big problem with that. That's fine.
There's a song about Caroline Kennedy, who is a diehard Yankee fan. I'm like, okay.
And the fact that you get a lot of people that are just going to these games just for that type of stuff, for that kind of experience, and they play that song that the team's getting hammered, and you got everybody celebrating.
Right.
For what?
It's like, okay, this is the, good times never felt so good. Yeah, we're down by 5 runs.
Exactly. So, anyways, getting back to music talk, we have some questions that were emailed to me for you this evening.
Awesome.
Let's see where we should start here. Well, we did talk about the video shoot that you guys did. How'd that all come about, and where was that filmed?
It was filmed in Palmer,
really?
Mass. This guy Don Odell, I guess, needed a drum riser or something, and ended up getting hold of our manager John Solonkowski and asked if he had a riser. He was a drummer, so he brought him out the thing, and he saw the studio and all the great acts that the guy had there, and he's like, wow, this would be great for Sweet Cheater. He's like, oh, I know who they are, and so we booked the time and went in and did his show, and that's the video that you see. It's what a great job they did. I was blown away when I saw it. I'm like, wow, this is great. And it's all the new stuff too. Every song that we did on that show is on the new record, so I don't think we did anything old there at all, if I remember right. So,
well, there's one Suicide on Broadway, to me, is a new old tune.
Yeah.
That's
on the new album.
That one's my favorite, though.
Yeah, that's a good song, man. That's it's about, we were in New York, and like Tommy, our guitar player, had never been there, and a few of the other guys had never been there, and it was just like, whoa, holy cow, what's going on? Seeing girls come up to you, try to reach in your pocket. And it's like, no, they're not reaching in your pocket because they like you. They're
they want your wallet.
Rip you off, Oh, really? Uh-oh, that's it, But then seeing, like, the commercials on overnight, for the sex lines and everything like that. Next thing you know, a song called Suicide on Broadway, fast cars, bright lights, hot girls. It's you're in trouble.
Can't go wrong with that, though.
No, that's it.
In moderation, though.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not too complicated, you know. It's not like singing about dragons and stuff like that, you know. Just straight ahead, that's all we know.
Now, do you have any older songs from like back in the day floating around that maybe might see the light of day one of these days, including maybe some of that stuff when you had the Chappel band in the mid-'90s there? Will any of that stuff ever maybe drift into Sweet Cheater?
Yeah, you know, I played it for him and stuff, and I don't know, I guess it might not see the light of day with them, but I'd love to do some of that, like rework it and play it a special way, you know, with myself. You know, I'd love to, you know, maybe get Johnny April from Stained or something like that to play on it, Denny Balicki or something like that. You know, the old.
That'd be a nice Maniacs reunion.
Yeah, but
you know what that would be if you could put something like that together. That'd be very cool.
Yeah, we finally found Mike Sollers. He's down in New Orleans. No one knew where he was.
Really?
And yeah, he recently got married, and so we're reunited again. You know, because everybody was wondering where Mike Sollers, the old drummer for Maniacs, was. I guess he plays in Blackfoot, is from what I gather now. And we all know Johnny April from Stained, and Denny Balicki's still in New York City playing all the time, and does a lot of Broadway stuff and acting and singing. I mean, he's just a machine himself, you know.
Now, didn't he play with Helix for a short period too?
Yeah, Denny played with Helix. We had toured with them when we were in Maniacs, and it was like probably, I guess, maybe a couple years after that, Paul Hackman had died, the lead guitar player for Helix, in a truck accident. Like the last night of their tour, everybody flew, and he was trying to save a few dollars, you know, when he rode home with the crew in a truck, and the truck went over the cliff in the Rocky Mountains or something like that, and Canadian Rockies. And when they did their next tour, he called Paul what's the singer's name? Brian Vollmer called me up and said, "Hey, we need a guitar player. Who do I get?" I'm like, "Oh man, Denny Balicki. Why not? You know, Denny Blake." And he went up to Canada and hung out and played with them. And next thing you know, he was playing all over the world with them. So that was awesome. And they even came to, I think they came to Infinities back then.
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah, they played a couple. I think they played a couple shows out here, and it was amazing. What a good band, very underrated band, Helix.
And I know after Maniacs, you know, Denny and Johnny April, they joined Mostly Holy or formed Mostly Holy. Yeah, they just stayed together without me. And Mike was a drummer for that too, right? Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's one of the things, man. You know, you wonder, you know, if you made the right move or you didn't. You know, I mean, they were great guys, you know, and it was like such a hard time for me leaving them to play with Sweet Cheater. You know, it was, you know, we were all grown up for a long time together and had been friends and knew everything about each other and done all kinds of crazy shit, you know, and here I am moving on, you know, and it was weird for a while, and, you know, it was a lot of traveling back and forth, you know, from Springfield to Boston to play with the guys in Sweet Cheater, and eventually, you know, we got involved with all the big record companies and the big time management, and so it was tons of travel, you know, just going everywhere to New York all the time, back and forth from Boston to Springfield, and eventually it took its toll on all of us not landing the big deal, you know, and we didn't talk to each other for years, and eventually they sent a package to my home where I used to live in Agawam, and they sent it back to me out on the Cape here, and we got together and had a picnic and jammed a little bit, and we've been together and rocking and rolling ever since. Yeah, it was great to see you guys back after being gone for so long.
Yeah, you learn a lot about yourself, thinking, I mean, you guys were young, and you think you're on top of the world, and you really aren't.
Yeah, then you get a reality check, and
need your buddies to be a bigger team, like the Red Sox. It's kind of like sports. You got to be a team. It's not 5 individuals. It's a team, and now we're a team. We weren't for a long time, and everybody was selfish, and everybody's having kids and getting married and doing their own thing, but everybody has time for Sweet Cheater now, which is really nice. We just what do we do? We just played with Whitesnake a couple of weeks ago, man. What a fiasco that was.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. What the hell happened there?
Well,
you kicked their ass. That's what happened.
You know what? Everyone said that. I mean, I'm kind of glad I got escorted out of the club and didn't get to see Whitesnake from what I heard. But yeah, it was really weird. When we got hired, they told us, okay, you're going to play with a Whitesnake. You're going to play 45 minutes. Okay, and then we didn't talk to anybody. And we got there. We waited for them to do their sound check. Okay, Sweet Cheater, set up your stuff. Boom. Usually when you play big shows like that, there's these things on the wall called show sheets, and it tells everything from the time you load in to the time sound check to the time you take a piss to the time you eat some food, and everything's spelled out, because I guess musicians are all dumb or something like that. So there was none of that, so we had no clue whatsoever. And then we're like, okay, where's our dressing room? Oh, it's a laundry room over there. We're like, yeah, okay, no problem. I mean, we can deal with that. No big deal. They didn't feed us. Usually we get fed. Usually you get some drinks. They gave us a couple beers. But I guess we were supposed to play a half an hour. So we're on like 36 minutes, and I see like panic backstage. It's like they're like a sniper's taking over the club or something. I'm going, what the hell is this all about? And they're up to the stage cutting like their throats, going, cut. I'm like, okay, right there in the middle of a song? Yeah, we're going to stop right there in the middle of a song, So we finished the song. I'm like, thank you. The guys in the band are like, you're kidding, right? I said, nah, they're telling us to get off. I'm like, okay, good night. So we take our bows and we get off stage, and they escort me to the back door, and they're like, okay, you got to leave. I'm like, what? And they're like, you got to go. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, oh, you're supposed to play a half an hour. I'm like, oh, thanks for telling us, you got to go. And it was just really weird. I never had seen nothing like that in my life before.
Were you guys the only...
we played with everybody, Judas Priest and, Cinderella, Cheap Trick, you name it. We played with them, and next thing you know, here I am.
Getting escorted out of the building.
The people are coming up to us, hey, how you doing? Can you take your picture with us? So I'm like trying to be happy.
Yeah. What the hell?
Our autographs, they're like, you coming back in? And we're like,
we want to.
Oh my God, it was so funny. So then we went to this club across the way, and Joey Belladonna from Anthrax was playing at this place called Wally's, and it was really fun, and everybody was coming in, like slowly trickling in, and then they'd see us, and they'd come up, you guys kicked their ass, they sucked, and so it made the night so much cooler, because everybody's like, oh, come on, take a picture with us, and it was just really cool. I met John from Shadows Fall. He was there, and he's like, I didn't see you guys hanging out at all, It's like, no, we got kicked out. He's like, what? Like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard, and he was like, you guys were great. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. Because I used to play in a band with Paul Romenko from Shadows Fall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a band called Moodring. That was my last, cover band.
Actually, I remember that because you guys played Makara's a few times.
Really? We played Macara's.
Yeah, you played Macara's a few times.
That was a great place.
It was you guys and Back in Black one night, and I do remember you guys played with Stained one night, too.
Yep, that's right. That was with, was that Mood Ring?
That was Mood Ring.
Wow, no kidding. We did some good songs. We did, like, Godzilla and, like,
and Stranglehold.
Cool Aerosmith stuff, like, down and dirty stuff, you know, not the typical songs that people would do. We did, like, Cars and stuff like that.
But it was all a lot of the deep track stuff. Like, not the the songs you'd expect to hear.
Guitar, he was great. Pat Winsek, who used to be in Back in Black. Actually, I think he plays with them once in a while when they go to Pennsylvania.
I think he does.
And Paul Riopel was on the drums. Yeah, that was a fun time.
Those were the good old days back then.
Yeah, we used to practice up in, like, Everett, Mass or something like that, up near the Berkshires or something. It was awesome.
All right, we got another question here that was emailed in. It's in regards to your relationship with Rock On Promotions. And it says Rock On Promotions books most of your shows. How did that relationship come about?
Well, I've known John for, you know, since we were kids, actually. Growing up in the Palmer area, and, you know, he'd always played, you know, music, and we'd always played music, and he was in a band called Hooked, and we ended up doing some shows with them, and he talked about, you know, maybe getting into the production and, you know, booking aspect of it, and, you know, I like the way he handles himself and the way he talked when he booked us, so I'm like, hey, why don't you book us? So he's been doing us for about 2 years, and doing a great job. I mean, it takes the stress off us having to, you know, face the club owners, you know, because the club owners will talk you into anything you want, you know. At least John will fight for us, and
you can just
do
show
the
up
right
and play
thing for us. He just booked us a nice show at Patriot Place, where Gillette Stadium is. I think we'll be there December 10th. So
that was actually the next question that I had for you was about the Patriot Place show, but yeah, that's on December 10th.
Yeah.
Yep. We are definitely making a road trip out for that one.
Oh, nice. That'll be great.
Have you been there before, the Patriot Place?
Never been there. I know the guys in Sweet Cheater have, and John have been trying to get in there for, you know, at least a year. I know we've been sending them emails and trying to get in there, and I guess through our friends from Mass. Mass is a band out in Boston. Pretty good band.
Haven't heard that name in years.
Yeah, but yeah, they've been kicking butt, you know, since then. And so they called us the other day, called John, and asked if we'd do a show with them, and it seems like we're going to do it. So it'd be nice to get in there. It's a good room to play. You know, kind of like a Webster Theater, but nice.
But
you know,
safe,
really
but safer and nicer than the Webster
joint,
Theater.
You know, I don't know if the Crafts own it.
And the biggest question is, Mike, are you going to be able to play for more than 30 minutes? Hopefully.
I guess we've already been warned.
I'll meet you by the back door, brother.
Yeah, they told us you can play 40 minutes, not 45. I think that was a joke. But yeah, so yeah, the joke's on us right now. Anyway.
Yeah, they've had a lot of national bands have come through there recently. I know Mr. Big was there a couple months ago. Cinderella was there. Striper's been through there. Stephen Piercy played there. So, you know, it'd be cool. Hopefully you guys get some good exposure, and the people that run the place like you guys, and start putting you with these other bands that are coming through.
Yeah, we've been trying to get on the Sebastian Bach show, because the bass player is a good friend of mine, so I'm going to try to get a hold of him and say, hey, can you put in a word for us? But who knows, maybe you never know.
Sebastian's still kicking
Lynch
around.
Bob's coming. That'd be a good show.
Who's that?
Lynch Bob.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it'll be better than Dawkin. I saw what's left of Don Dawkin. He played for free, and I'm glad it was free, in Springfield at Stern Square back in August. And now I can see why none of those guys want to work with him anymore. He should have quit years ago.
I heard it was like Sam Kinison.
He looks like, that's a good comparison. He looks kind of like Sam Kinison and sounds like Sam Kinison singing. He can't hit any of the notes anymore. It was bad. And I brought my sons to that show because a couple weeks before we had just seen Motley Crue and Poison out in Mansfield. And I said, you know what, guys? I said, you just saw some really good 80s bands I grew up on. Dawkins coming. It might not be all original members, but, we'll check them out and see what you think. And they're just looking at me when he came out and he started singing, and it was awful. And when we got home that night, I threw up some of the stuff on YouTube, and I showed them how he used to look and how he used to sound, and they were just blown away.
Is there anything on YouTube of him that night?
There is.
Is there really?
There is, yeah. If you want to dare watch. It's about as good as the Axl Rose footage.
Oh, my God.
We have
we all have bad nights. But, I heard his band was great, though. I mean, I know those guys.
The band was good. It was all new guys. Even like Mick Brown was playing drums with him for a while, and he was like the only original member that stuck around, and he's gone too. The band itself, I feel bad for those guys because musically they sounded good, but just once the vocals hit, forget about it.
Yeah. Well, B.J. Zampa, who used to be I used to have a band called Kid Justice, was a drummer for Dokken that night. He's been playing with Dokken for a couple years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a good drummer. He's in the House of Lords, too.
Oh, they're still kicking around?
What's that?
House of Lords is still kicking around?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what? We were trying to book a show with them at September's, and I don't know what. I guess it just didn't work out, But and Jimmy Bell, I used to play with Jimmy Bell in a band called the same band, Kid Justice, and he's in the House of Lords. But and then the kid Chris McCaffrell or McCaskill, he plays in House of Lords also, and he's the bass player for Dokken, and so he's got some local guys playing with him. Just sucks that he's
it's not all that it used to be cracked up to be. And then you guys played with Slaughter recently too.
Yeah, man, what a good show. I think they were great, but it was so loud. It was the loudest thing I ever heard in my life. I mean, I couldn't stay in the club. It was so loud.
Wow.
I just went out on the deck and listened, and Mark Slaughter was amazing. I mean, his vocals were as good as ever. It's just it was so loud.
It's like an arena sound system in a small little club.
Yeah, and people were telling us how loud we were, and I'm like, really? I'm like, and we were like, they were like two, 3 times louder than we were. But they were, that was a great gig for us. There's no hassles. It's like when we play with British bands or something, that we always seem to have a problem. We play with American bands, never a problem. Everybody's nice. Everybody's, eats together and talks and laughs and shares stories. But when you play with a British band, it's not good.
And it's funny because you think after all these years that a band like Judas Priest or Whitesnake, they'd be a little more down to earth.
Yeah, yeah. You think of British people as polite and proper. Man, it's like don't look at them in the eye. Turn your back when Rob Halford comes around. Don't look at his wardrobe.
As we all know, they are the metal gods, and I think it's gone to their heads so much that they won't let it go. So they are way up there on top of the mountain, and nobody else is supposed to be up there with them.
Yeah, it's weird. We're playing with them, right? And I'm sitting in our dressing room, right? You figure, okay, here we are in the big time, playing a big venue, big arena. I walk outside the dressing room, and it's like being on my deck. There was not one person around, and every once in a while, someone would walk by you, but it was nobody backstage. Nobody. It was was like the weirdest thing. I'm like going, and you can hear the first band that was playing up, on the stage, and I'm going, wow, so this is what really goes on back here. Okay.
Well, actually, I guess you were lucky, that they didn't pass out earplugs, because you're not supposed to listen to their music either.
Yeah, well, they weren't even there yet, I mean, I'm sitting out there, and all of a sudden, all the buses come right, 5 buses come in, and, the bass player got out of the first bus, and, I had like 4 guys around him. I'm like, why? There's not one person here.
Yeah.
It was just like wicked funny,
he's
man.
He's a bass player of what? He's about 4'8", maybe.
Yeah.
Weighs about 120 pounds, soaking wet. I mean, whoa, we need 4 guys around to win my blow him over.
And then when Rob Halford came, the 4 security guys came over to me and like squared off.
Don't look at that.
Like I just laughed at him, went back in my dressing room. I'm like, oh my god. They're like, okay, you guys got to clear your dressing room now. Judas Priest is going on. I'm like, oh yeah, God forbid we're in our dressing room and Judas Priest is going on. It's hilarious. But it was fun. I mean, I tell you what, it was one of the greatest times of my life,
That's great. We actually have a request from somebody in the chat room there. They were wondering if you could ever think about playing Mountain Park next summer for a great outdoor venue up there in Holyoke.
All the rides for $250.
And the old Whip It ride and the wooden roller coaster that would scare you half to death just because the damn thing would move so much.
Yeah, I remember one time, man, on that Whip-A-Will one.
Yep.
I wasn't ready for it. My sister was sitting to the right of me. Wham!
Yeah.
And I
your
got
ribs
the worst
feel then?
black eye of my life, and her head, I thought I had a broken jaw the whole day. I couldn't see. But I remember the roller coaster, we'd get, run off it and run around and get back on the next ride. And we'd ride that thing 100 times in one day and love it every single time. Sunday, $250, all the rides you can ride. I'd love to play Mountain Park. What's it like now?
Well, right now it's they leveled the old Mountain Park, and I haven't been up there yet, but I've seen some pictures of it. They made like an amphitheater type place up there, and they have bands play every summer.
Wow!
And they have some bigger names come through, but a lot of the stuff is like kind of local-ish.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm kind of local-ish.
That'd be a good spot for like you guys and maybe some of the older bands from back in the day, maybe to put some kind of festival type thing together.
Yeah, man, there was a lot of good bands in the old days. A lot of people went on to do good things from Springfield. It's a good hotbed. I think playing the club scene, like in Boston, all the kids who live in Boston, they never get to play a club scene. So the only time they get to be on stage is, once in a while. And in Springfield, when you lived out there, you could play, Maniacs, and when I was in Vice, and a band called Tease before that, and Wits End. I mean, we could play 5-6 nights a week, no problem, Didn't have to get up and go to work. If you don't play a lot and you play your own thing, you don't get to play a lot, And so I think that was probably the best thing for me, playing in the cover bands when I was young, so I could get that stage presence and not be afraid to go on stage, That's a big part of it.
Well, let's see. We got Johnny in the chat room here. He says, Mountain Park Rock Fest 2012. Time to start planning. He's on it, so get ready.
Nice.
And it says, let's see, our buddy Dave here who mentioned them up there at Mountain Park, he said there's lots of room for lots of people, maybe an Infinity reunion.
Yeah, we've been trying to do something like that for a long time, and nothing's ever came about.
That would be the perfect spot for it, because it's outside. That would just be a cool evening of some good tunes.
Yeah, God, it'd be hard to pick who would get to do it.
And then of course, as soon as you're done, I'm just gonna have to escort you out of there. I'm sorry, you can't hang around.
Yeah, man.
It's just not gonna happen. I'm sorry, thanks, but you got to go.
No, they didn't say thanks, man. It's like, no, get out.
Nope,
like,
get out.
No, you have to leave right now. I'm like, well, what about my wife?
What about you?
Call her on her cell phone. Yeah, okay, she's gonna hear that over. Whitesnake, Like, not my problem. And then they started walking through the crowd, and if someone had Sweet Cheater shirts on, they're like, oh, you gotta go. And people are like, what do you mean we gotta go? They're like, oh, you're with Sweet Cheater. We're like, well, what do you mean we're with Sweet Cheater? No, we bought tickets to come see Sweet Cheater and Whitesnake, and it was getting uncomfortable for some people, We found that out later in the night. And then they took all our merchandise after we played and put it under the counter, and the guy's like, don't sell anything from Sweet Cheater, and it's like, come on, are you kidding me?
Well, I guess you really...
what you do is you bring your stuff, to the merchandise booth, and they sell it for you, and then they take 10%, at the end of the night. And, they wouldn't even... Whitesnake wouldn't even let us sell anything,
Well, shoot, if I would have known that, I would have went up there and you could have sold out the back of my Ford Explorer.
There you
in the parking lot.
Right. Yeah, remember the old days? You go to the Springfield Civic Center, there'd be guys selling shirts out of a parking lot, $5. Went inside, they were 25.
Yeah, and they were usually better quality sometimes outside of the venue than they were inside. I remember some of the shows.
I will say that at the most recent Motley Crue Poison show is that I did buy one of those shirts in the parking lot.
It looks good and the price is right, man, as you're walking.
With inflation these days, it was $20 outside and $40 inside. So
and the thing is, as long as you're still moving, because the guy's walking next to you, never stop. You just transaction and you just keep right on walking, so nothing happened.
Yeah, because they can get arrested, easily. They'll take all the shirts that they have, and they'll frisk them and take their money too.
I remember being at a Kiss show in Worcester back in '96, and I don't know how this guy pulled it off, but he was selling bootleg shirts inside the venue, and he had them. Like, it was a show in December, so he was dressed for, like, December weather. Yeah. But he had them, like, stuffed down his pants, and he had, like, an oversized sweatshirt on. It was like they were strapped to him everywhere. And if you wanted a shirt, it was funny. He's selling shirts up in the stands, and he's, like, unzipping his fly and pulling the shirts out of his pants. He used to say, I passed on that one.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't want that one either. But, I mean, I saw one guy, he looked to be about 400 pounds, but come to find out he had about 35 shirts on.
Oh, my God.
And as the people were buying them, he'd just take them off and give them to the people. So by the end of the night, he went from 400 pounds to like $150.
Yeah, I want some sweaty guy's shirt. Hey.
Hey, look what I brought home for the concert.
Wow, can I have the last one? Oh, man. When you saw Kiss in Worcester, was that with Queensryche back then? 96?
No, I think that was... God, that was the reunion tour in '96. They were bringing like real like no-name bands out.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think I don't actually remember.
Yeah, '96 reunion and farewell tour.
Yeah, the farewell tour
since every year.
Yeah, I mean the reunion tour was awesome because I never had the opportunity growing up to actually see them, with the makeup and the full show and stuff, and that was excellent. And then, the farewell tour comes around, and it's like, all right, and that was a great show. That had Ted Nugent as the opening act.
All right, that's a good one.
And
I've heard of him.
And then, after that, they were supposedly gone, and then a couple years later, they pop up touring with Aerosmith minus Ace Frehley.
Yeah.
And then little by little, then they got rid of Peter Criss, and I have seen them on 3 different occasions with this new lineup, and it's not bad, but it's just kind of, to me, being a longtime Kiss fan, it's like you're ripping off the fans by putting these guys in Ace Frehley and Peter Criss's makeup. And in fact, a couple years ago when I saw him actually down at Mohegan Sun, I'm waiting in line to buy a shirt, and at the merchandise booth, and there's some guy who's standing next to me, and he was getting kind of obnoxious, like all excited that he's got his 15-year-old kid with him, and he's seeing Kiss, and he was telling everybody that was walking by, and I couldn't take it anymore. My wife keeps elbowing me, knock it off, and I said, I got to say something, and so I said to the guy, I'm like, you know what? I said, he's not seeing Kiss, he's seeing half of Kiss, and the guy's just looking at me. And I'm like, it's only half of Kiss. It's kind of like a cover band, And he's like dumbfounded. And
you're just too hardcore, brother. Sometimes that's
sorry about that.
No, you're just diehard, true fan. It's true.
Yeah, I remember we went. It's like, it's a reunion tour. We got to go see him in Madison Square Garden. So we went. We went up to New York. You know who I went with? Carm from the Sick Club.
Oh, really?
And we went to New York and. It was like it was great, and it was Madison Square Garden. It was real Kiss, and then they came around 100 times since, So it's like, I can't go anymore. I don't want to be disappointed. But the new guys they got are actually the drummer's probably better than Peter Criss ever was.
I was just going to say that the new guy, he can play circles around Peter Criss, and
decent.
And actually, I think he's been in the band longer than Peter Criss actually was, because Eric Singer was with him back in '92 and when they were doing the Revenge album and stuff, and then add the years on, he's been with them now. That's longer than Peter Criss was in Kiss. Yeah,
he's a great drummer. I love that acoustic live Kiss album. Did you ever hear that one?
Yeah, the Unplugged. That's good stuff.
Love that album. It's so good. I've got like half of my iPod. That's like the whole album of that is in that.
But I promised my youngest son that I took my oldest son a couple years ago to see them. But next summer when they come back around again, so that he can say he's seen Kiss, we'll go check them out.
Can I go?
There you go.
Can the big dog go too?
Please.
I suppose.
Going.
Thank you. I haven't seen him yet.
Right.
Speaking of shows,
yes,
you guys have a show coming up a week from tonight at September's in Chicopee.
Can't wait for that.
I can't wait, and I think we're playing kind of early. I know sometimes when people come to see us, we go on like so late, but
that's why I usually
this time.
At the other shows I usually didn't arrive till about 11 o'clock, and because I
still wait around.
Yeah.
Well, he's only going to have about 38 minutes, so we got to know the exact moment you're hitting the stage.
I know. I want to know myself. I have no clue, but I know it's earlier than late. Which is good, because then I can hang out with everybody and say hello, and I love to get pictures with everybody.
And September's is a cool club too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if it's a nice night, if it's a nice night out, they got the deck to hang out on too, and it's a cool place.
I know, I love that deck. That's a nice deck. You don't hear that out of my mouth too much, but.
And you guys are also playing that evening with Heroes in Trouble, and they're
I'm psyched.
There's some local guys from around here. Good band, cover band, but good partying tunes.
Yep, that's what. Hey, you know what? That's what gets the night going. You get and they're going to play after us, as far as I know.
Yeah, you guys are playing in the middle. They're going to go on, and then you guys go on, and they're going to go back on again.
Yeah, it looks like here in the chat room, Johnny's saying 10:45 to midnight.
Wow.
I guess you guys will be playing. So that's actually an hour and 15. Wait, no, that's just too long.
Well, that's an hour and 15 minutes, so you better not play an hour and 20.
Yep.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh, sure. Man. Can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. And then we'll so at midnight we'll have a party.
Yeah, 40th style.
Nice. I wonder how they're going to set that up, like the equipment. I wonder if we have to set up in front of the opening act. I'd do that.
I think what'll probably happen
is
maybe
Johnny will tell us here what's going on.
It might just be a case of switching the drums around.
That's all we'll have to do.
Because I've seen those guys a few times. They don't have like elaborate equipment set up.
We don't either.
No, but
2 minutes.
So it should be bang bang and back on to the music.
Yeah, I love that Sweet Cheater picture you got on there. on the website there. That's me.
That is you.
That's me, yeah. That's a nice picture.
And we'll have some new pics after the show next week that we'll put up.
Nice. I want that to be that's what we want to be the album cover.
That's cool. Wasn't that picture taken at, I want to say that's Club Meadows. A few years back.
I think that's where that picture is, yeah.
Now, see, I was at that show. I can remember crap like that, but I can't remember, stuff we learned back in school that we should know.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been to Club Meadows in a while. Yeah, we don't have fun there.
No, I actually, the guys from Heroes in Trouble, they played there back in July, and they're not looking forward to playing there again. I guess if they never do, it won't bother them. Right,
same with us. Yep. Yeah, man, they treat you like they're doing you, they're doing you a favor. Hey,
exactly,
Like, wait a minute, man. I thought we were the ones bringing in the crowd, not you.
It's almost like playing with Whitesnake.
Oh my God, I'm out of there.
For 36 minutes.
All right, here we go. Sweet Cheetah will have the full stage. The entire backline will be set up. Drums will come down for Heroes, and Sweet Cheetah will be set up. After Sweet Cheetah puts his drums back up for full stage. Wow. I like that.
There you have it.
Wow. We got to make sure the roadies are good that night. But yeah, we got a little our drummer plays a little drum set, but man, the kid plays big.
I remember one night, it was one of the one of the Club Meadow shows where I don't know if you guys set the drums up too quick or whatever, but he was hitting them so hard they kept falling over.
Oh yeah. I was like holding them back and they were falling on me. Yeah, I remember that. That was we were playing with our hook that night.
Yeah, I think during one point you guys had to stop one of the songs and restart again when you put the drums back together.
Holy cow. Yeah, wow, I don't remember that. But that's what Jack Daniels does to me. Makes you forget all the bad things.
All right, well, we're getting into playing some of the new tunes here.
All right.
And exclusives, since they're not really officially released yet, but
right.
We're going to play a few of them for you here.
This is live music here.
At its finest.
This isn't even studio stuff, right? As far as I know.
Yeah, it's all the first three songs that we're going to play, because we'll play about a half hour of Cheater stuff. The first three songs will be live stuff from the in-studio live recordings, live video recordings.
Wow. All right.
So
let's roll it.
Mike, we look forward to hanging out with you and seeing you next Friday night. And we thank you, as always, for supporting us here at Smash and calling in and
being gracious enough
this evening.
to hang out with everybody tonight and, of course, answer some questions. And if you need any help selling the swag or whatever, we can handle that. I'll make sure I have the Explorer in the parking lot, and we'll be good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Looking forward to meeting you, buddy.
It's so good to be with you. I'm just gonna sit back and chat now.
All right, we're gonna kick things off then with Suicide on Broadway that we were conversing about earlier this evening. Soon to be featured on the new Sweet Cheater album entitled Sweet Cheater 2.
You better believe it.
And we will see you next Friday.
All right. God bless you guys.
You too, and thanks again, Mike, for checking in with us. Really means a lot.
Pleasure. Anytime.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
shot.